Hey guys, this is LarryBoy Fanatic, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my top 5 almost good ideas from LarryBoy the Cartoon Adventures series. And by almost good ideas, I mean like the ideas that the series introduced, what could have worked, but didn't. And just so you know, I've reviewed all 4 episodes of the Cartoon Adventure series. So if you haven't seen the reviews of all 4 episodes, click right here. But anyways, let's get this video started. So up at number 5 is that the show focuses on LarryBoy, which is how it should be. This means that instead of putting a lot of emphasis on the side characters, especially Junior, we get to see character development with LarryBoy. So instead of taking a back seat to what could have been his 2 leading roles in Fib from Outer Space and Rumorweed, he gets to be the one who learns the lesson instead of just other people. Now up at number 4 is that LarryBoy gets to save the day in each episode of the Cartoon Adventures. Well, he gets partial credit in the 4th episode, and he got some help in the 2nd episode. But in the majority of the series, he gets to save the day, which is pretty awesome. Because in Fib from Outer Space and Rumorweed, it took logic, it took common sense to solve a problem. Whether it be just telling the truth or resolving a rumor, pure logic saved the day in both of those movies. However, in the Cartoon Adventure series, both logic and LarryBoy saved the day. Now up at number 3 is that LarryBoy had a utility belt in this series. You could definitely say that the utility belt was one of the best things that came out of this series because basically LarryBoy can fit anything into his utility belt. There was a spatula, a flashlight, and a lava lamp? Well, you get the idea. Other than that, the utility belt was a good addition to the LarryBoy costume. Too bad he didn't have a utility belt in LarryBoy and the Bad Apple or in the Fib from Outer Space or Rumorweed episodes. Now up at number 2 is that the premise for this series almost worked. Now you can say that the premise is like a cross between Batman's scenario and Superman's scenario. But instead of Larry the Cucumber being a reporter, he in this version is a janitor. So he's not just a millionaire like Bruce Wayne is, but he also works at a newspaper industry like Superman does. And they even establish in the first episode of the Cartoon Adventure series that the reason why he's working at the newspaper is because, well, listen to this, it's so that LarryBoy can be up to date on what's going on in Bumbleberg. But guys, that's what the TV and internet are for. But then again, if Larry the Cucumber wanted to put something on his resume, then I guess it's not that bad. I also like that LarryBoy has a butler in this series just like in the original. Only in this series, Alfred goes by the name Archie. I mean, this concept almost would have worked if there's like more character development with both of these characters. Or any of the other characters for that matter. In fact, I would have wanted Archie to have a lot more screen time than he did. I mean, the most screen time that he's ever had in the series was in the Yodel Napper episode. But the series only lasted for, 4 episodes? So it is what it is. Finally, for number 1 is that what almost worked as a good idea was the series itself. Like the fact that LarryBoy had his own series. But the thing is, they decided to make the series 2D instead of the 3D animation that we were used to in VeggieTales. If the idea was to make this like a Saturday morning cartoon, then that's fine, but there is a reason why this series didn't last too long. Phil Vischer even talks about this in his memoir, Me, Myself, and Bob. He says that customers were a little upset that the animation was too Saturday morning cartoony. Speaking of Saturday morning cartoons, this series used to be in the lineup with Cubo. For those of you who don't know, Cubo is part of a Saturday morning programming Yeah, and they had this kind of programming on NBC and Ion Television. I want to say that it was like more than 5 years ago, but the Larry Boy Cartoon Adventure series was in the Cubo programming lineup. But the thing is, they didn't show Larry Boy every Saturday. In fact, they did it to where it was either the Larry Boy series on one Saturday or 321 Penguins on another Saturday. Yeah, you see the confusion there? Now there's more to the embassy controversy with VeggieTales, but I'm going to leave that to another video. The reason being is that I grew up watching this show, and yeah, I have a personal experience with it. So yeah, story time with LarryBoy Fanatic. Now going back to the Cartoon Adventures series, it almost worked as a show. But with its not so good 2D animation and its lack of passion, there's a reason why this series lasted for only 4 episodes. And in my review on the good, the bad, and the ugly episode of this series, I explain why this series didn't last long. So if you haven't seen the review, here's the link right here. Now I know this wasn't a really good show, but it's still part of my childhood, so can't argue with that.
So anyways guys, thank you so much for watching this video on the LarryBoy Cartoon Adventures series. And if you liked this video, be sure to click that like button and subscribe. By the way, if you haven't seen my video on LarryBoy and the Bad Apple, click right here. Yeah, the review on LarryBoy and the Bad Apple took a lot of hard work, and it was a lot of fun. And on that note, this has been the LarryBoy Fanatic, the eyes and plunger ears of the LarryBoy universe.